Do I need headphones? No.
You don't need that. I'll just make sure you sound good on. So. How many years is this going
This is
on?
our 4th year and our 7th overall.
Okay. $8:06 back on the morning drive, brought to you by Valdosta Toyota, Southern Vein and Laser Center, Plumbing Services Company, and our friends at Ray Norton Tire and Auto. Coming up next weekend, 1 week from Saturday, this is the 4th year that it has been here, but it gains, I think, momentum every year, and it's different every year, and it's just maybe the best bargain in town. I'm talking about the South Georgia Growing Local Conference, and Gretchen Quarterman, who's the point person for this, joins me this morning. Good morning. How are you, Gretchen?
I'm good. Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me today.
It's good to see you, and we're glad that you are here. And this South Georgia Growing Local Conference is it's just gotten bigger and better every year, and it's different, as I said. And there's so many things and so much information that people can get next weekend.
Well, there is, and we're happy to be able to say that this year we brought it from the Pine Grove School down to Pineville. So we will be in Valdosta at a city school this year. Hoping to make it more accessible to people that live. Maybe they want to walk to the conference this year. And we lowered the price, so it's just $10 to come and learn all about growing things locally.
You can't beat that. And that's lunch included.
Lunch included.
Wow. Starts at 9 a.m. We get to Pineville Elementary School, which is at Lake Park Road. It's $10 individuals, $20 for families. It starts at 9. Kind of tell us what the setup's going to be next Saturday.
Well, we have a lot of speakers coming. You might say, well, I want to go to all of those talks. You'll be able to go to 5 talks and choose. You don't have to stay in one room. You might start out in the kitchen and learn about what's going on in the kitchen, and then move to the music room and find out what's going on in the music room. We don't have the schedule finalized yet, but you'll be able to pick 5 of the talks during the day. And
so many different, and we're going to go over some of the topics that will be covered. First of all, I guess we need to thank the city school system for allowing us.
Absolutely. The city school system gave us a real good deal on the price, and we'll have the nutritionist there. And she'll be supervising what it is that we're saying to make sure that we're not saying anything that's really wrong, which is important. People need to understand, good nutrition, and that nutrition is going to be one of our topics. They have somebody who's going to talk about holistic nutrition and so how can you make sure that you're being properly nourished with the foods that you're eating? Yeah. You might buy something in the store, and it's not as nutritionally valuable as you might think.
Exactly, and that's and again, I think there's a lot of interest now. I think you and John have been talking this for a long time, but it seems like in the last couple of years, more and more people want to know more about what they can do in their own home, growing their own, right ways to do that, smart ways to do that.
Well, more people want to do that, and it actually is it's good in a variety of ways. One of my things is it supports our local community. When you're buying from a local farmer, or you're trading with your neighbors, like if you're growing tomatoes and they're growing lettuce, you're supporting the local community, and that's what this is really about. All of the speakers here are local. They're from Tifton, Warner Robins. Our farthest one away is Waycross area. Mm-hmm. So these are all local people. This is building our local community and teaching people how to grow stuff, and not just foods. We're going to be talking about in the student track beneficial gardens, so how to bring beneficial insects to your garden.
And that's important, I would think, anyway, as well, because the information that you may get off the internet may not be applicable to where you live.
That's why we started this conference in the first place, because South Georgia has a very special environment. We have sandy, loamy soil. Mm-hmm. We don't freeze very much. We just had those 2 days of freezing. That doesn't kill off insects, bad bugs that we don't want to have, so we need to know how to deal with those. One of our speakers this year is going to be about natural pest control, mm-hmm. and what you can do in your garden to control pests naturally without having to do a lot of spraying.
I'm going to hit on some of the topics that you just kind of delve into a little bit more. First of all, water conservation, collecting beneficial rainwater, and how to do that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's really important is stormwater control, and that's a bigger environmental issue. We've had problems with runoff, and we know that with a lot of paving, things run down to the river. So if you can catch water in your own yard, then that's not running away, and then you can use that water to water your garden. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be one of the things that we're going to talk about, is how to catch water in your yard and use it in your garden.
The language of food. I love that topic. That sounds like a broad topic.
It's a broad topic. Katie Rogers is going to talk about reading food labels and knowing what it means if you go to the store and not everybody grows their food.
That's right.
You want to go to the store and be able to select foods that are good for you. She's going to talk about reading food labels and advertising when products are being advertised on TV or radio. What do those words really mean?
Yeah.
And how do we know what we're selecting is good for us?
Also, beyond blueberries and peanuts, lesser known crops for the coastal plain.
Well, this is our friend Brett Wagenhorst from Tifton, and he is a magical grower. He has he calls it a farmlet. It's a beautiful farm. And he grows some things up there that aren't usual. He has many tropical plants, which you think tropicals won't grow here. But again, with the climate the way it is now, you can grow tropical things. And he will talk about a variety of things, kiwis that you might not, papayas, guavas. He grows just wonderful stuff up there.
That's going to be really interesting. Again, Gretchen Quarterman joining us this morning. We're talking about the South Georgia Growing Local Conference next Saturday. Starts at 9 a.m. at Pineville Elementary School. We'll tell you in a little while how you can sign up. Some of the other ones go urban gardening. Now, I've heard that term a lot.
Well, our theme actually this year is urban gardening and what you can do in the city. Okay. So if you're on a little lot, how can you grow? What if your yard is shady? What do you need to do about your soil? What about raised beds? Are they right for you or no? Can you get a tractor in there in the urban setting or no? Do you need a tiller? Yeah. How to get started? What's easy to grow if you're a beginner? Mm-hmm. So urban gardening is actually going to be taught by one of our extension agents, Josh Dawson from the extension office out on 84. Mm-hmm. He's going to talk about urban gardening and getting set up in the city and what resources are available to you as an urban gardener.
How about designing edible landscapes?
This is going to be really awesome. Catherine Melcher from UGA in Tifton is going to bring her students down, and they're going to talk about making an edible landscape. And this actually, I want to talk about one of my partners in this project. Charlie Barnes from Barnes Drugs has a real vision that Valdosta will become an edible landscape. If you've ever been to Barnes Drugs, everything in their parking lot is edible. They have olive trees and rosemary and oregano. All of those plants in the parking lot are edible. And his vision is that we become an edible city. So we're going to have edible landscaping. If you want to go out to the yard and pick something, and how to make that look nice, so that it's not just random stuff, but it's actually a landscape and everything there is edible.
Love it. Now, holistic nutrition. This is something again I think it's been around forever, but I think it's picked up more interest over the last couple of years.
Ashley Dowdy from Tifton. I got a lot of Tifton friends. She has transformed herself and her life through good nutrition, and she is a nutritionist. And she's going to talk about making sure that what you're eating is giving you nutritional value and that you're getting a balanced diet. You know, some people might choose, well, I'm not going to eat green vegetables. Well, if you don't eat green vegetables, how do you get the vitamins and minerals that are in green vegetables? Or I'm not going to eat meat. Well, how do you make sure that you're getting enough protein? And she's going to talk about nutrition in a holistic way so that you're not going to be taking a vitamin pill.
Okay, very good. Also, herbs and spices. Now, this is something that I think a lot of people probably think, I know what herbs and spices I like, but this is going to go much, much further.
Well, this is Christine Hagen from Hagen Homestead, and she has been one of our foundational speakers throughout the conference. She's talked about something every year. They have the Hagen Homestead, and they do a CSA. They have quite a large farm up there, and one of their specialties is herbs. They grow a lot of herbs, and she's going to talk about both growing herbs and using herbs to make your food more flavorful. Okay. You might say, well, I have these green vegetables. How do I make them not just taste like the same green vegetables I eat every day?
Right.
And she's going to talk about using herbs.
Speaking of those, cooking with seasonal vegetables.
Yes, we have James Horton is going to talk about cooking with seasonal vegetables. So maybe you don't want to grow your own vegetables. You want to go to the store or go down to the local market and buy what's available, grown locally, support your local farmer. And right now you can get greens. You have greens right now. So in the summertime we have more choices. If people learn to cook with what's available right now, they're going to get a varied diet over the year. And James is going to talk about selecting seasonal vegetables, how to know what's good and, fresh now, and then how to prepare it. And again, we do have this year access to the kitchen. So he'll, I hope, really be doing some demonstrations about things that you can do in the kitchen.
Yeah. Let me hit on a couple more. Building and using raised beds.
Yes. In the urban setting, you're not going to be getting a tractor into your yard probably. And raised beds are really probably the way to go. And Danielle Constello is going to talk about the successes she's had in her backyard. And also in our student track, I should mention we're having a sort of K through 6 level track. Ashley Prane is going to talk about the successes at Quola and the raised beds that they have there and what they do with students and teaching children how to grow in raised beds. So we'll be having 2 different things about raised beds. One's in the student track and one in the adult track to talk about how to build beds, how to get started, how to make sure the soil's right, and then what you can successfully grow there.
Gotcha. I learned a new word this morning, which I did not know. I always like to learn. Mycology, the study of
mushrooms.
There you go.
And we have the South Georgia mushroom expert coming, Ansel Jacques, and he knows everything about mushrooms. We're so excited to have him. He knows about growing if you want to get a log and start growing your own, and he knows about foraging, so how to go out and find mushrooms that are edible. He's going to be bringing some samples, I'm so excited that he's coming. He's really top of my list.
Very good. So now, and this is just a sampling. There are going to be many more topics that will be discussed a week from Saturday at the South Georgia Growing Local Conference. If folks do want to get, first of all, how do they sign up for this?
Well, you can sign up. The easiest way is to go online to okraparadisefarms.com/growing.
Okay.
And there's I want to buy a ticket, and you can $10 for individuals, $20 for your family. So if you got a mom or a dad and a couple or 3 kids, $20 for that family to come. We really want people to come and learn this material, and your lunch is included. For that $10 for an individual or $20 for a family, you're going to get to come to 5 talks and your lunch.
Yeah.
We have a sponsor this year.
All right.
So that's why we could lower the price so dramatically, and we thank our sponsor. Whoever it is that they are.
Let us know later so we can thank them on air. So you'll let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our lunch this year will be provided by Do Meals.
Oh yeah.
Do you know them? They are up on Bemis Road, and they do prepared takeout. So they're going to be our caterer this year. And we also will have a small vendor display. So some of these speakers will have a vendor display of what their products are or what it is that they're doing. Haas Tools from over in Norman Park will be bringing their tools that they have for backyard gardening, and that'll be a good resource for people to get some set up.
Yeah. It all starts at 9 o'clock. Again, it's going to be at the Pineville Elementary School, 930 Lake Park Road. And again, how the setup is, they'll have a brief welcome, and then basically the sessions are an hour and 15 minutes each. And so you can pick, there'll be several sessions offered each block. You can pick the one that you like, and then the next session pick another one. There'll be lunch from 12:15 to 1, and then the last 3 more sessions, in the afternoon, wrapping up by 4:30. And there'll be several different options for each session.
Each session. And we'll have the student track. So if you have children and you want to have them learn, they're going to be learning about beneficial plants, growing their own snack. We're going to have a little tasting for them so they can taste with different things maybe they haven't had before. What is it that oregano tastes like? How is it that cilantro that I might put in my salsa and my chips tastes like? So we're going to do a food tasting for the kids. We're going to have a bee demonstration for children. So bee hives and some bee materials. And this conference is both for beginners and for experienced people. We have a variety of speakers. They'll speak at a variety of levels. If you say, well, I never grew anything in my whole life, this is for you. If you say, I already have raised beds, this is for you.
Yeah.
So there's something for everybody, and there's going to be 4 different choices. So if you're really into the whole food thing, food preparation, we'll have fermenting and the seasonal foods and cooking, and that's all in one track.
Right.
Then we'll have sort of the homesteading and beginners and all of that in another track. So you can go from whichever one to whichever one.
Suffice it to say, something for everybody.
Something for everybody.
And listen, and we hope that people stay for the whole day because there's so much information for $10 a piece. It's just going to be great. But let's say if some places, Gretchen, I want to come, but I've got something I got to be at in the afternoon. I can only come for the morning.
That's fine.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're not locked you into the whole day. Although it would be good if you can stay for the whole day.
You'll be happy if you stay for the whole
Yeah.
day, but it is not necessary.
Right, there you go. Again, okraparadisefarms.com/growing.
/growing. And if you don't have online, you can send a check or money order to Okra Paradise Farms, and that's Post Office Box 461 in Hahira, 31632.
And remember, if you're driving around this morning, check the podcast later on so you can hear it and write it down. Don't try to remember it all right now. You can check the podcast and listen to it at valastatoday.com/podcast and write it all down then. And they can call the number as well.
They can call, this is my cell phone number, everybody in the world knows it, I'm sure, 229-834-1945. And you can just, if you're online, you can Google South Georgia Growing Local, you'll find us.
There you go. It's going to be a great day. This is the 4th annual, I say 4th, it's actually been going on longer.
It's been going on since 2010, but we moved around. We were in Tifton one year, we were up by Vidalia one year, we were twice in Reedsville. This is our 4th time down here in Valdosta, and we are excited to be building our local community.
It gets bigger and better every year. But at a new location, the Pineville Elementary School, 930 Lake Park Road. This is the South Georgia Growing Local Conference. Tell some friends about it. If you've got some friends in other areas who you know may be interested in some or all of this, give them a call. Tell them to come to Valdosta next week. I promise you they'll absolutely enjoy it, and it's the best bargain in town. $10 for all that information and lunch, which I'm sure. And that do meals, I want to bring that real quick because that's I think that's what people battle, Gretchen, is health versus convenience. It's very convenient as a fast-paced life that we all live. Say, well, I want to do this, but I'm just going to grab something to drive through and all this. I think a lot of this conference is showing you how it can be convenient to be healthy.
That's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. That you can do simple things at home to make your lifestyle healthier.
Right.
Even if you're not growing your own food, how you can prepare foods or get access to foods that are healthier for you.
Makes perfect sense. It's going to be a big success. Gretchen, thanks for putting all this together. I know it's a lot of work to kind of get all this going, but it benefits the whole community, so we appreciate it.
It does, and I especially want to make shout out to Charlie Barnes. He has been enormously helpful.
Great. Charlie, thank you, and all the folks at Barnes Drugs. We appreciate that. South Georgia Growing Local Conference, okraparadisefarms.com/growing, or you can get in touch with Gretchen, 834-1945. Make your plans to be there next Saturday. It's going to be a great day. Good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
We'll take a break and come right back. We'll tell you what the weather's going to be like for today and the weekend. Coming up next, more of the morning drive right after this on News Talk 105.9, and this is WVGA.